Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Oh, relax, Archie.
Attention, all true believers. Marvel Comics is on the air.
A friend of the unfortunate, enemy of criminals. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle.
Boys and girls, your attention, please. Presenting a new exciting radio program featuring the thrilling adventures of an amazing and incredible personality.
Faster than an airplane, more powerful than a locomotive, impervious to bullets.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, it's Thursday. That means it's time for the Geek Chat. And we've got a couple of questions that are going to get answered tonight. Like, whenever someone says, who would win, Superman or the Hulk? Or what if Spider-Man and Batman fought? Well, my answer has always been, you're going to have to stay tuned. And Des has some weird new twisty twist for the show tonight. So we don't know what to do. Cue the intro. God, that was hard to say. Oh my God, everyone. We got some people. Hello to Barlord Nerd, Barlord Paul, Jabroni Chief. You're watching the Geek Chat on the Experience. I'm Beardy Rich.
And I'm a little black beardy Des.
It's growing a little. It's getting a little bit. Are you watering it and talking to it?
I do. I play classical music to it. It's great.
That's good too. Yes, you must.
That's why
Any
Paul's
kind
beard
of
is
music,
so big.
really.
Was that any kind of music? No, I said that's why Paul's beard is so big. A lot of classical music.
A lot of classical music, yes. So everyone, it is a Thursday night. You're joining us. Thank you for joining us. You could be doing a whole bunch of other things, but you're watching us. We're here to talk comic books. We're going to talk about Daredevil, and we have our giveaway. Des, what do we got?
So we're doing two things, but for our first giveaway is our regular giveaway, and that giveaway is this fantastic assorted crisis events. It is the cover C, and it's a 1 in 25 by Mike Del Mundo variant. We will be talking about this book. However, Rich and I are doing something a little bit different.
What are we doing different?
We have decided that each of us will read a book, and then we will be interviewed by the other person.
I read this one.
As sort of exactly, and I read the next one we're going to do after it.
But, okay.
So we're going to basically interview each other to try to see, yes, my secret chia seeds. It's right here too. Although it doesn't work up here that much anymore.
No.
Too much sunlight. So not
too much darkness.
Not enough brain food. So that's what we're gonna do. So this is our first cover. Our first. This is our variant that we're going to be doing. It is a 1 in 25 cover C crisis assorted crisis events number 1 by Mike Del Mundo. All you have to do, put in hashtag Geek Chat, hashtag Geek Chat, all lower letters, preferably. It's easier. Don't have to hold shift or anything. Press
or # Geek Chat.
Yes. Hashtag or # if you're old like him. And then you can get this beautiful cover. Second thing we're going to do.
Hi, Zach. Hi, Steve.
Hello, everybody. Second thing we're going to do, because I was remiss. We were running a little late last week, and I made a mistake. And Luis actually won last week. So to make up for that, we are going to send them this cover, which is the Deadpool. It is the Deadpool.
That's Daredevil. There we go.
Sorry, Deadpool. Number 12 variant cover by Rogi Antonio. And this is a 1 in 25 variant of Deadpool Number 12, Deadpool getting ready to sacrifice. Looks to be
Miles.
Yeah, looks to be Miles and the swords around it. So that is what we are going to send Luis. Luis, if you join us,
he's not here yet. I
know.
haven't seen his name pop up.
Yeah, when you join us, I'm gonna say it again. Please, if you happen to notice them, if we're chatting and doing our thing, if you notice them, please let us know, and I will say this again. But this is what we are going to be sending to them as a we are sorry,
As a Des effed up.
Yes. So yes, so that's what we're going to be doing. But that is enough from us. We are now going to talk about the next big Marvel thing, and that is Daredevil.
The Misadventures of
Born
Matt
Again.
Murdock.
Yeah, Born Again.
Hello, MetaJuice. Welcome in. Hey, Kenneth. Welcome in.
Yes, welcome in, everybody. Nerd 101. So, I'm gonna let you start.
Daredevil is the story of a lawyer who's blind, who is forced to go through very rigorous things, and now he is not Daredevil anymore. And okay, so you're watching a Disney comic book show, and last night, oh no, it's Thursday, Tuesday's episode, we actually got a very brief costume, very brief. So yes, that is the synopsis of Daredevil Born Again.
Synopsis. We're talking about the first two as well. So all of them. So I will throw out a couple of tidbits, and then we can discuss them.
I agree with Nerd 101. I want to love it.
You want to love it?
I do.
Okay. Here's the thing for me.
Oh, and Kyle yelled for 5 solid minutes.
I'm not gonna yell. Don't have the lungs for that.
Hey, Space Case.
Welcome in. I liked the fight scene at the beginning between Matt and Bullseye. I thought it was fun.
We're going episode 1.
Yes.
Okay, episode 1.
Yeah, I loved that fight scene. Thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. Setting up what's been going on since we last had the episodes that were on Netflix. Because
synopsis. That's the word I wanted.
Yeah, synopsis. Yeah.
And
I like that fight scene.
Okay.
And I thought one thing that it needed to do better was establish if this is in continuity or not. It sort of did in certain aspects during the conversation that they were having, but overall, I did not feel that this was in continuity. And I think they did that on purpose, only because they were wanting to start fresh. And
because certain people like myself, I never watched the Netflix shows.
Yeah.
So I would not, if this is the continuation, I'd be like, oh, okay. But I still would watch it because it doesn't bother me just to jump into something.
Yeah, certain things are canon.
I had no clue what came before. So this is my first vision, my first eyes on it.
Yeah, I watched half of the first episode, and then it just kind of petered out for me. So I watched episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then I read, I think it was on Comic Shop News or Comic News or one of the comic sites. I read 10 things you need to know about, Daredevil before you go into it. And so I read that, and that kind of got me up to speed, and it made more sense as to what was happening. Yeah. I think this really could have benefited from a this is what you need to know to get caught up, and I think it's fine for Disney, to do that. And I think that they would do that more to kind of brace the audience for what is to be expected. And I know they probably don't want to do that. They don't want to blah, blah, whatever. So that was the one thing. The fridging of Foggy, completely uncalled for. I thought it was horrible. I thought more redheads would come out of the woodwork about redhead. Well, I guess it wasn't redhead erasure.
They just killed him.
They just killed him, outright killed him. And what's even crazier is it's been a year later, and there are no, hi Garth Wong, they are no closer to knowing who killed Foggy. Although there are rumors about what happened, but it seemed like it was a pointless death in order to bring him into this new status quo of getting rid of the mask.
Right.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that as the catalyst for him stopping. I thought that was dumb. I didn't like it. I hated that. It was gingers or goners and all. They really are the expendable race now, since it's a faux pas to kill black people, so, or minorities. So they're just gonna kill a ginger because they're technically white. So
I have to agree with you. I think the motivation for him, first of all, I telegraphed it. I knew he was going to die right from the beginning. I looked at Coog and I was like, oh, they're going to kill him. And they did. And I think it's weak. Okay, I don't want anyone. If you're enjoying the show, I'm glad. I am enjoying what they're presenting to me. But I find the writing to be very A plus B plus C. There are tropes that are used in comic books to make a character do something. It's in TV shows, it's in movies. And I feel like them killing his best friend and then him being emo for almost a year over this death and it not igniting in him the flame to keep going, it burned it out. And then we get Karen, and I talked to a friend today. He stopped in and we were talking. And we were talking about Daredevil. He watched the first whole season. And he was saying fans were upset when Born Again was announced because neither one of those two were coming back for this show. And I don't know if everyone knows, but the show was basically scrapped and then rebuilt again. And we're seeing the rebuilt again with some of the first iteration in it. And it's funny that they got rid of Karen so fast and that she's also very, very upset at what's going on at this situation. And her and Matt in the courthouse, that whole scene between them was eye rolling. And then in the third episode, again, spoilers, everyone. By the way, we talk about spoilers. Sorry. Yeah. And then in the third episode, as soon as they announced not guilty, I looked at Koo and I'm like, well, he's dead.
Well, to be fair, the actor passed away.
I know that.
Yeah, he had an illness and that caused him to leave.
And that was him who was in the beginning of the show, the RIP.
Okay.
So, but even if he wasn't, I'm finding, and the fact that Matt was like, well, you don't need to wear the mask. You'll get over it. The motivation for him not to be Daredevil is not very strong right now. And yes, without conflict, there is no story. I don't like the way they're basically what he's going through is what I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
and
I totally agree. I totally agree with you.
And Barlord, I think it was Barlord. I'm trying to get my thing to go up. Someone said about him not having the costume. Yes, it was Barlord earlier. I heard a rumor. The rumor still stands that you're not going to see the costume for the first 6 episodes.
Well, you saw the first one.
But that was in the past. But the point is, we have a Daredevil show with no Daredevil. And it reminded me a lot of Mutant X, which was the mutant, the X-Men show with no X-Men. Or any CW show that basically shied away from costumes.
Okay. So I'm gonna slightly disagree a little bit with you.
Okay, go for it. I'm trying to get my computer to work. I can't read the comments.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, we need conflict for the story. I get that. But I think that there was a much richer story to be told with just Daredevil and Matt really coming to terms with the fact that Fisk is mayor and he has a no vigilante cause.
Right.
I think that would have been better for him to say, I hate it, but I'm going to put down my mask in order to do that, and him really fighting his inner turmoil to want to go do that. And then you introduce the White Tiger, who is a vigilante, who said, no, I continue to do this. And then you have Matt look at the duality between himself and White Tiger, and then reach that limit of saying, White Tiger's out here doing this day. Then Punisher does his thing. If you don't know, Punisher shoots, or a Punisher lookalike shoots him. So,
that was not the Punisher.
Of course it's not. But I'm just saying there could have been a much richer story, of Born Again than just the easy way of having them kill Foggy. I thought it was cheap. I thought his death was whatever, and I get it. The contracts are contracts, negotiations are negotiations. People only want certain things that came before. So maybe it was part of their contract. They just wanted to show up for the for the beginning to basically see what happens to their character. So for me at the beginning, I did not like that. However, what I do like is Matt Murdock being a lawyer. I just enjoyed the hell out of the lawyer scenes and the scenes where he was using his senses to track the guy and all that stuff. That stuff for me, fun. Yeah. I knew the guy was not going to be in the black truck. That was already telegraphed. They do that crap all the time. So I knew that was going to happen. I'm not surprised that he rolled over on them all. Didn't roll over on them because he was scared. I got that. But then bringing out the White Tiger and doing that thing and that conversation in the jail cell, I liked that. So I'm liking Charlie Cox playing Daredevil, or playing Matt Murdock. I'm liking that. Okay? Now, and I'm going to ask you directly, Rich, what is your thoughts about Kingpin and Vanessa and going to the therapist and working through their marriage? Like, do you like that sort of subplot? Because I know it's going to pay off in the future, because Kingpin is probably going to do dirty stuff. He already did it with blackmailing the commissioner to stay. So
in his bloody paws.
Yeah. So I don't know. Are you liking that sub? So
story? As someone that didn't watch the Netflix shows, it's all new, and their conflict it's very, if you're watching like I am with fresh eyes, I don't understand everything that happened between them. For me, I'm filling in the pieces because I'm not going to go back and watch the Netflix show. I don't understand why. I mean, I get it though. The assistant was like, you need her in the public eye. I don't understand why she can't be running it and show up when needed. I mean, not to get political, but when you see a president, you never see the wife standing next to them every day. You see them at events. You see them, things happen. So I don't understand why she just can't go to their mansion or whatever house and run it and then come back. For me, it is another just, we need to do this. And yeah, it's going to have a payoff. Something's going to happen. Now, I have a question.
Real quick, before you go, I want to answer your question real quick before that. I think the reason why we're seeing it and it's happening like that and he's so against it is because this is not just Matt being born again, it's Fisk being born again. So we are witnessing his being born again and doing this other thing to rise into a much bigger picture. And
yeah, because he really
and
he kind of wants to be good.
No, he doesn't want to be good. He wants control. She is pulling him back down to a life that he's trying to elevate out of. But for whatever reason, he is not informing her about what that plan is. And I think that is a way to generate angst between the two of them and conflict between the two of them when it doesn't need to be. Because if he truly loved her, he would just tell her what was on, because she's already on board. You know, she's his ride or die. So let's get going. So what was your question?
I don't remember. Oh yeah, I do. Do you? Okay, so
we're talking about Crank now. Y'all are crazy. Both those movies were great. So
she had an affair with a guy. Is that when he found out? Is that what the bloody hands were from? Did he beat up her lover?
In the second, I think he did in the second season. He killed him.
Okay. Then I don't know. Then they are playing loose with the Netflix shows showing, because that was lost. Coog and I were both like, did he beat him up? Like, why are you washing your bloody hands? Things like that. I was I don't get it.
In the show?
Yeah.
No, that was Charlie Cox blood washing his hands.
No, they at the dinner table they showed. They showed fists. He was beating someone up.
Yes. That was her suitor. Sorry.
They don't really make things a little quick. I want to get to some comments here. I'm a little behind.
Nerdy 101 can't stand Jason Statham because he doesn't like him. So.
Well,
we have descended into anarchy around Jason Statham. You know he watches the show, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, he does.
For me, he is a working man.
I gotta be. We're gonna go. All his movies are the same. I rather enjoy the basic Jason Statham. We enjoy his movies because they're just so stupid.
They're silly. They're really silly. They're devoid of any logic, and you just kind of got to go with them. They're great popcorn flicks.
Just like John Cena movies. Okay, back to Daredevil. I am not saying I hate the show by any means. I am not saying that. I'm enjoying what they're presenting, but it's very... So I'm going to be honest. Coog in the second episode, he's like, I'm going to hand you a stick. Poke me if I fall asleep.
Okay, it wasn't that. It wasn't that boring. I mean, yes, it is a courtroom drama. Yes, there are occasional superheroics.
Eddie, I love The Beekeeper. It was a great movie.
I think producer Kyle says it best. My issue is that they used all the good bits of Frank Miller's Born Again in the Netflix season 3. This isn't Born Again. This is Daredevil. We lied about the story. This is basically Daredevil. We're cashing in on a name that people know about. They literally could have called this anything else. And I actually looked up. I did some research and I thought, okay, well, what is this actually based on anything? And it's not really. It's got bits. It's got bits of everything that's in it.
You saw that Brian. I think it was Brian Michael Bendis was a producer. What did they call him?
Well, yeah, because the whole
something writer producer.
Yeah, the whole part of Kingpin becoming, the mayor and stuff like that. I guess that was part of his run, and the introduction of his new romance. That was part of his run. So yeah. Yes,
I like
Daredevil. King of Hell's Kitchen would have been fantastic, but that's too small. Producer Kyle, that's too small. So.
I like mine, The Misadventures of Matt Murdock.
And on that, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, it's interview and answer time. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Twitch, it's not just what happens when you have too many energy drinks anymore. Check out our content over there, too.
FOC, a comic industry term for the final day a new comic can be ordered by a local comic shop. So, what does that mean to you? Well, it's your last chance to order a new comic book from your local comic shop. Order up! The FOC show will go over every book that's about to be cut off every Friday afternoon.
I'm going to highlight some of the stuff that I think is really worth paying attention to.
So that you can put in an order at your LCS for as many copies or as many variant covers as you want.
Sometimes the store needs to know to up their orders.
Never miss out on a popular comic again. Order up, part of the experience. Sure, comic books are beautiful, but underneath, there's something more authentic and exciting. The original art. See the pencils, the lines, the shading, as if you were there in the studio watching the artist work. Getting a peek at comics' backstage is easy with the original art experience.
All right, Friday night, guys. Thank you for being here. To be doing anything, the fact that you're here means the world to me.
Nick's pieces are always value priced with your budget in mind, for the beginning collector to the veteran.
And this is gorgeous. You got Aquaman and Mira.
Join the original art experience with Nick and our friendly crew of regulars, even if it's just to enjoy the art. Fridays at 7. It's all part of the experience.
Did you know that Arthur, King of the Britons, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail was played by a famous Graham? Check out another famous Graham by following our Instagram.
I love our viewers. This is crazy.
Too. Yeah, the comments are just silly.
Yes.
I love it.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching the Geek Chat on the Experience. We just had a spirited little chat about Daredevil. We have our giveaway. By the way, I'm Beardy Rich, and this is
Little Black Beardy Daz. So again, this is our giveaway. Assorted crisis events. Such an interesting name, I swear. And that cover right there is the cover C 1 in 25 Mike Del Mundo variant cover. And yeah, we're giving that away. All you have to do is put in the chat hashtag Geek Chat, Geek Chat.
Oh my God, you forgot the name of our show. We've been doing it for over a decade.
No. I know how to say it. It's just my voice was like, so. Yes. So, having said that, I don't think Luis has entered.
Not
yet. So
Steve asked a question, and
what?
I like this question.
What?
Do you remember a man is shown dropping a box full of baby turtles into the sewer? Maybe. I think that could be the next spinoff. I really do.
Oh, no. So Eddie Von B. Yes, we have did this over a decade. We have done this in over a decade in various different forms. It started off as a college radio show. When I was
it started before that.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that.
So we all sat around on the floor after hours in my store. There was maybe 12, 15 people, and we would sit around for a couple hours and just talk about comics. A bunch of geeks sitting on the floor.
It was either Wednesday or Thursday nights. We would
probably Thursday.
Yeah, it was a Thursday, and we would sit down, and he would close up the store, and we'd sit around in a big circle, and we would just talk about our favorite comics for the week. And it was.
I had two rules. You couldn't say I hate it, because if you said I hated it, you needed to give your reasons. You needed to back things up. I can't remember the second one. I think that was it.
There's no arguing. It's probably was the last one because geeks are very spirited creatures.
Yes.
But yeah, we did that for a couple of years. And then when I was in junior college, I was taking broadcasting classes, and then we did it as a show for a season, and then we liked that, and then we did it as a podcast, and that was the longest time we did it. We did that for a couple of years. If you want to listen to those old episodes, you can. The podcasts are still up, being hosted on SoundCloud. So if you were to search, the Geek Chat on like your podcasting, you can hear our old episodes. It's very silly. It's very, very silly. And then we started doing it here when we were invited to do it.
We did it live on Facebook for many years.
We did that too. Now,
yep.
Those were They might be on the Facebook. If you want to join the Geek Chat on the Facebook group on Geek Chat, if you're part of Facebook, or if you've fled, I don't blame you. But
Meta
if you
took all
are,
that stuff down a month ago.
what was that? They took
Meta
all-
took every Facebook Live that was more than 30 days old down a month ago.
Oh well, they're gone.
Sad. If I'd have known that, I definitely would have recorded them or took them off, because that's it. So
Yeah.
wow.
All right, so question time. What book are we launching first?
Sorted Crisis Events. Now,
all right.
What we're doing now is, I did not read this book. Rich did. And so he's going to tell us about it, and then I'm going to ask him questions, as you would, because we're trying to basically decide, since it's number one, and we do a lot of number ones, would we recommend this book? So this would be our quote-unquote recommendations, or why we would recommend it if we wanted to or not. So
great. All right, so the writer for this was Dennis Camp. The artist is Eric Zawatsky. The colorist is Jordi Belair. The letterer, and I practiced this, Hassan Atzmain El Hau. And then the designer is from the X books, the Krakoa books, Tom Mueller. And the production designer, I don't know what that person did, but Wesley Griffin. He did this. And I have the main cover. There were 4 covers, and then D was a blank one. So, meh.
Meh.
Meh. Meh. So this book is kind of crazy in the fact that it's a double issue. And there is a character in here, and she is the main character. And the world around her has gone to hell. This is how the world ends. And oh God, it's so hard to, okay. The movie production people have realized that filming in the streets is cheaper than filming on a studio. So the director of these movies film the movies next to her apartment on her block. So throughout the book, the movie is different. So it starts off with a sci-fi movie, and they use real bullets, and a real bullet strikes her clock, breaks her clock. So the subplot is she's trying to get this clock fixed. Well, no one uses clocks anymore because the world is ending. And she goes to have these clocks fixed, and she has to give a reason, and every time it's not enough. It's just sentimental to her. Something her parents gave her. Nope, no Italian names right now. Sorry. That's the little subplot of this book. Every time she goes out, it's a Nazi, it's a Western, it's dinosaurs, it's an alien. And she doesn't know what she's going to get when she walks out of her house. Add to the fact that people are dying. They're actually being frozen in time, and they're stuck that way. And they call it ATP, I think. And there's various what the initials stand for. On her cell phone, she gets these crazy alerts every other minute about something crazy that's going to happen to the world. The whole book, Assorted Crisis Events, fits it, because you never know what you're going to get when you turn the page. The use of color is very interesting in this book. So if you look at the cover for A, this old man is actually in the book, and he is one of the doomsayers. He goes around talking about the end of the world, what's going to happen. But no one believes him, because if you look, there's these, time is shifting throughout. So as you're walking down the street, you'll see your doppelganger from another universe. You'll see medieval warriors. You'll see cavemen. You don't know what is real in this world. A person will be alive, and then a baby will burst through their chest, and they're born. Time is really, really, it's worse than timey-wimey. It is broken, and that is one of the reasons why the world is ending. Last night, I was going to be like, I got to read this book, and I flipped through it, and I was like, oh God. And I put it down, and I said, I'll read it tomorrow, meaning today. So I had maybe 20 minutes before the show started. So I sat and read it. It's very fresh in my mind. Would I recommend this book? Yesterday, flipping through, I would have said no. After actually reading it, I'm going to be like, yeah, kinda. I kind of would recommend this book because it left me. We always talk about what makes a good number one and what makes you want to read the number two. And the fact that I had no effing clue what was going on in this book, I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up for number two. I got to know what happens. One of the things that happens to her, she ends up in another place and she doesn't know if she's really there. So she gets out of jail. She sees her home. Another movie is going on. She thinks it truly is the end of the world, but it wasn't. So you never really know what she's going through. I have no clue how many issues this is supposed to be either. So I don't know if it's going to be a long run or 5 issues. But either way, I think this is going to read really great in a trade because you won't have the hell did I read moment, because you'll be able to continue it on. Much like someone said about Daredevil, binging Daredevil might make it a better show. But I'm going to say, yeah, this is kind of an interesting book.
Cool. All right. So I have a couple questions. Number one, and I want to respond to Barload, who says, nice thing is it's an anthology book. So
I did not know that.
If you hated it, you'll get a different story next issue. That's cheating. That's cheating. So, number one. Number two, you're absolutely correct, my friend. And I think that is what sets it apart. And I think it's sort of like Candyman, the Ice Cream Man and other stories like that, where you have these bite-sized sort of stories that you can digest and then keep it pushing, and I think, and you might have like one sort of intertwining story. So, and I don't know how old some of y'all folks are. Jabroni Steve says, a sort of Crisis event sounds like a DC one-shot. Crisis of Infinite
It truly is. Maybe
think
DC might sue.
What I think it is, and I think people have forgot about this a lot, depending on how old you are. We used to have a thing called the House of Secrets and the House of Mystery. And we used to have like Creep Show, and we used to have, Tales of Suspense, in which you would get a story that might not be
Hydra Asylum
tied in to anything else, but it is. And I'm thinking this is their way of kind of doing that. And I think that's kind of interesting. That you can pick it up and then kind of like decide what you want to do and if you want to continue and anything like that. Stop eating that. And so I think it might be something that could be kind of interesting. And number two, you said that it would read better as a trade. Why do you think that?
Well, no, I'm saying,
or not better, but
if you had the reaction that I had after I read it and got to that last page, I was like, I think if you were reading it in a trade, you wouldn't have that. You just continue on.
You wouldn't have. Oh, okay.
No, because you just go to the next page.
Yeah.
You would have all of it in one. I now have to wait 30 days to find out the frick happened because I don't know.
Yeah. And so it's that mystery that you like about it.
It made me, this is why I enjoy comic books. I really liked ending it and going, I want the next issue.
Yeah.
If you say I want the next issue, then they did something right in creating this book. And I think that's what happened. I from last night, just flipping through it, I was like, nah, I don't want to read this. And I actually sat and read it and I was like, okay, I got to read it now. Kook has told me this is an ongoing story. So ongoing, they could end it at any time. It could go 12, 25, 100.
Yeah.
Who knows? So
when you have a shifting narrative like that, then you can.
So I will be interested in the number two. And I think that I'm in for this series right now. I'm in for this series.
Cool. How do you think it would do as a TV series?
It would be too big budget for what the ideas in this book are not CW. They're not.
No, I'm talking about like one of the streaming shows. You know, one of the streaming. You know,
Okay, so we watched Foundation on Apple. We got Apple TV for 3 months.
Paul watched it too.
Oh my God, what a great show, because it kept going. It spanned 135, 150. It spanned years, and they did a great job with it. I could see this book, the first issue. I mean, I don't know what the other ones are going to be, but I could see this first issue making maybe 2 episodes, 2 45-minute episodes, because they could elaborate even more on the director, because the director is I can't say that word. He's a douchebag. The director is just a thing. And he treats people so bad. I could see them going on, because on a TV show, you have more time to expand a character.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this. Like, you meet a guy who's playing Hitler 3, and he's crying because he's really Jewish. And yes, that is a correct word. He's Jewish, and his grandmother was in the camps, and now he's playing Hitler 3, and he's having a mental breakdown on set. I mean, there's just so many character moments in this. One of the best, I don't want to ruin this book for everyone, but the backgrounds. So for me, if you've listened to us for a while, I hate comic books, panels with no backgrounds. It's lazy. It's lazy to just put a color behind 2 figures. This artist, every panel has backgrounds, and they're very fun and to the story. They're not throwaway backgrounds. It's talking about time, much like that cover. It is about time.
Cool.
So
right.
I don't know who Hitler 2 was, because we just met Hitler 3.
Also, Steve, so it's an ACE, ACE in the whole. Yes, I noticed the acronym is ACE, so I get it. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't know any better, you might be a dad, because that was a certified dad joke.
Hey, we got to get to you, or we're never going to get to the X books.
Okay, so for mine, I read Rogue Sun number 25. Okay, so Rogue Sun is from the Kyle Higgins verse of books, of his universe that he does over at Image Comics. So this is a part of oh god, I had its name. Radiant Black. So it's in the Radiant Black universe, and all the other Radiant stuff. And if you know, from Kyle Higgins, he went and wrote a lot of Power Rangers, and he basically took that idea over to Image, did his own thing with it, and created this universe. And what happened was they just got out of a giant sort of universe-shaking event that passed through all the books that are contained within the Radiant Black universe. So last week, I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, they released all the books that came after it, which they introduced as a jumping on point for new readers. And this was Rogue Sun's jumping on point, because there's a couple of books, but the 2 books that I know that were specifically from it is Rogue Sun and Radiant Black. So I figured, okay, let's try, because I liked Radiant Black, at least the first issue, and then I kind of was like, I'm getting kind of out of this, and so I stopped. I put it down. I do have it in a trade, and I've been waiting to sit down and read in a trade, and I read the first Rogue Sun. What you have here is a book by 2 writers, Ryan Parrott and Nick Cotton. The artist is Abel. That's it, much like Madonna, Abel. And then the colorist is Natalia Marquez. The letterer is Becca Carey. And the cover artist was Stefano Simone and Marcelo Costa.
Hey, Meatwad.
And yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. So yeah, and the creative director
Names
is
aren't
Costa.
easy, are they?
Shut up. Anyway, so
What's it about? Two sentences. What's it about?
On the onset, we get a page basically telling you what's going on. That is your
Good.
recap, which was great. It got me up
Good.
to speed, and then we start moving. And basically, what it is in a nutshell is this young man inherits this sunstone that gives him the power of Rogue Sun that has been passed down from generation to generation, and it comes with his father. His father's pseudo ghost is traveling with him to try to train him and keep him going, but him and his father do not have a really good relationship because he was an absentee father being a superhero. And so you get kind of like a firestorm kind of situation in which the dad is trying to control him and he's trying to do his own thing. And then they are recovering from this catastrophic thing in which they called forth a spirit from one of their family members from like the 1300s or far back, who ended up betraying them. And then he wasn't banished, but he has the power to give people this inherited power as well. So the female is his sister. So there is the new Rogue Sun who's coming in. And so now there's this, not competition so much, but a second person that the heir has to deal with. And she is being mentored by this ancient distant relative who is pseudo villainous, but not really. He was doing it as a specific reason that didn't align with the other one, so he's like that gray area. So that's what a lot of the story was about. It was a lot about bringing in the repercussions and the aftermath of this one big event that happened. And while they did a pretty decent job telling you what happened before, I don't think it was sufficient enough, because a lot of the stuff that's happening in this one drives the plot of this book. So even though they gave the description in the front, I still felt that there was something a little bit missing. And when you jump into a book that's issue 25, that can be an inherent problem, So my thought when reading this is, does this make me want to go back and read the other books? Does this make me want to go and understand and really see where these characters are coming from to get caught up to speed? And I have to say, it kind of does. It kind of does. It kind of does. But again, your mileage might vary, and I'll say why. Your mileage might vary because this is a superhero book first and foremost. So you are dealing with superheroics. You're dealing with costumes. You're dealing with that type of stuff. And if you are used to getting your superhero stuff from like Marvel or DC, not everybody, but some people find it hard to move over to newer superheroes and try to see what they're doing in their universe. So sometimes people still want to do it because they have their loyalties and whatever. I think that you should break out of that if you're feeling like that, and you should try something new. And jump into this and try this first issue. And if you're okay with it and you like what's going on, I think it's okay. Like funny because I did the same thing with Invincible when I first started reading Invincible. I came in like, I want to say issue 12 or something, and I just fell in love with it. And so I went back and I bought all those issues, and then I've been in love with it ever since.
That's something that not a lot of people do. Like, that's how I was raised to read comics. Like, my dad and I would go to the bookstore or something, and like issue 297 was on this, and I'd be like, oh, that's a cool cover. And I'd pick it up and I'd read it, and I wouldn't know what happened, but I'd be like, oh, I want the next issue. So would you read the next issue of this?
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. That's so weird that you brought that up, because it never occurred to me that after that big event in Marvel and DC, this would have been Rogue Sun #1.
#1. Yeah.
And it's not.
I mean, no, Chris Claremont wrote how many issues of X-Men, and it was accessible for the most part. I mean, you'd have to go back and, find those old issues if you really wanted to. But I feel like DC and Marvel really have spoiled a lot with their more eyes get on a #1 and you're going to sell more #1s and we can give you 32 covers with #1s than just putting a decent book out, without the numbering gimmick.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they didn't relaunch. I do have to ask, which one is Rogue Sun? The person on top or the person on bottom?
The one on top is the boy. The one in the front is the girl. So yeah. So the one in the back, and that's his powers. Is he has control over, like, I don't want to say sentient fire, but he can, like, make fire constructs. Like, that's why there's the ball
like Green Lantern.
So like Green Lantern a little bit, but he has, like, fire based powers.
And
so imagine
girl.
hard fire,
right?
And that's his sister.
And what's her name?
Rogue Sun. That's the thing.
Oh my God, they both have the same name?
Yes, because he introduces herself as this, and she's all like, I'm not trying to take the mantle or anything. I'm just trying to, like, because I guess some stuff happened to her, and she's been training in order to, like, not have that happen again, or maybe she has some trauma. Again, I'm trying to, like, piece this together. But yeah, so
right.
now there's this, I don't know if it's going to be a fight for the mantle or something, because she has her, like, evil or pseudo evil, like, ancestor training her, and then he has his dad training him, and so it's like
Zach says ding ding time. So now we're going to our next one. Thank you, Zach.
I think we can get through everything else, because
but we're gonna producer Kyle, put up both covers.
So
and
I want to say one thing about this. One thing before we go on. Even though it's a little crazy, I'm actually enjoying this.
Good.
I'm actually enjoying this. I'm actually enjoying it for what it's doing. And I understand it's a bump to try to get other people to read X-Men and X-Force and X-Factor.
Well, the books are all ending, so they did it at a bad time. All right. So earlier, oh my God.
No!
So earlier I said, who would win in a fight? I've always been asked every time someone would come in, not every time, but people would come in the store and they'd be like, so who do you think would win in a fight between Hulk and Superman? And I would always say the writer, whoever the writer is.
Yeah.
And thank you, Nerd 101. So if you read Storm, which we talked about briefly last week, Storm had the upper hand because that writer, it's Storm's book. So now you read X-Men number 13, and guess who's winning?
Yeah.
So it really isn't about characters, it's about the writer. And it was a complete turnaround where Storm had the upper hand, and all of a sudden the X-Men are back and they all work together, and oh my God, Storm goes down. And I was just like,
she doesn't really go down so much as they kind of talk her down.
Yeah, well, she could have used a wind gust, blew all of them away, and that would have ended. So,
can you pull up producer Kyle, can you please pull up X Factor? So Barlord, yes, he cannot catch a break because so Scott and Alex, sorry. They start fighting over the professor because he gets away and he found a resurrection egg. So I think the main thing is he's going to try to resurrect his daughter on Earth. And I think it's what's going to happen. And so I thought that was completely, like, I honestly thought that they were going to go into space. No, they're not going into space. I would have loved for them to go into space, but I don't think they are. So
two things bugged me in this X Factor.
He's not winning it either.
No, he's not. I love Archangel.
I love
What
Scott.
the hell did they do to him?
You know what? It's part of his PPO, so leave him alone.
All right. Yes, he got some good insurance with this X Factor group of
he has
government.
A sword now. Don't you love it?
He has a what?
He has a sword now.
Yeah, no. I just want to say I like Mark Russell. He is the writer of this X Factor book. I genuinely enjoy his writing.
I like the book. The book's not bad.
I have hated every issue I've read of X Factor.
Not that bad.
It is not that good either.
Okay, we have.
So anyhow, we have 5 minutes.
Okay.
So Manhunt, X Manhunt. You'll get the next couple next week. Hopefully, we'll have more time, but we're both enjoying them for what they are.
Luis, if you listen to this later, we will be sending out that cover to you this Saturday or this weekend. So look for that with a little note saying we apologize, but that's the cover we're sending you to say, we're sorry, you should have won last week, but that's your variant cover. We hope you appreciate it, and we're sorry. The one that you're going to win now is the Del Mundo cover for Sword of Crisis events. If you have not already, please put in the hashtag Geek Chat in the comments. You got to do it now because,
we're running
Kyle has a mandatory 2-minute break before his shows that we have to give him. Or
I have to say, Easy Reader. I agree with you. That panel in the bar is one of the highlights of the book. And Eddie, yes, everyone has a damn large sword now.
All righty, Kyle. Put up that beautiful bean footage of the people winning. That beautiful bean footage.
Oh, look, we're miniaturized.
Okay, and I have all my stuff, so I will not make another mistake. Who is it?
Meatwad.
Meatwad. Yes, Meatwad. You are a winner.
A Meatwad won.
Meatwad won. So if you could please, Kyle is going to put in the chat where you need to fill it out. Please fill that information now within the next 72 hours, and then we will send you your comic book issue and I really hope you enjoy it. And yeah,
Kyle, I'm really up for this Cyclops thing. If you can get some people,
you and your evil Cyclops.
He's been useless since the 60s.
You're an evil Cyclops Illuminati. I swear.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a big room, and we're all gonna sit on the floor. And I'm gonna bring all my cameras, and we're gonna shoot it in the round. And it's gonna be We All Hate Cyclops Club
with me just sitting there like, what are you doing? It's gonna be like that 70s show where they film the camera and all that. So, all righty, folks.
All right, everyone.
So you all have a great night. Stay tuned for Mog and Mel. They have a fantastic show planned.
It's their 100th episode.
100th episode.
There you go.
We beat that a long time ago.
I mean,
not here, but
Yeah, but
congratulations to them.
Yes, and go see them. Go check out the art. And we will see you next Thursday. You all have a fantastic week, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.